So, how are you guys? I hope everyone is safe in their homes and doing very well, right? So, today we're going to discuss this lead code hard problem, lead code 76, minimum window substring. Again, this question is an interview problem and it's also present on various other platforms like Geeks for Geeks, Interview Bit. You can go and try solve it there also. But why I'm doing it on lead code is that because of, again, lead code has the best test cases, right? So, without wasting any time, let's jump right into the problem. So, given a string S and a string T, find the minimum window in S which will contain all the characters in T in complexity O of n, right? So let's look at the example given. Input S is equal to Adobe Code Bank and T is given as ABC. So the minimum window in which it contains all the characters as A, B and C is this B, A and C, right? An important thing that the order does not matter. So first of all, this video will be divided into two steps. In the first part, we're going to discuss about the approach that we're going to take, and the second part, we're going to discuss the code. So without wasting any time, let's move to the approach part. The question we're discussing is minimum window substring. So what does this question say? That if you have a string A, B, C, D, right? This is the given string, and you have to find the pattern A, C, D. So you have to find the minimum window within this string that contains A, C, D, right? So that would be the entire string A, B, C, D, because you can see it has A, it has C, and it has D, right? So this string window of length 4 will be our answer. Now, important thing to note there, the order does not matter. So instead of ACD, if we were given DAC or CAD, that is any permutation of it, then also the answer would remain same, right? So this is a famous question, and the technique we're going to use is hashing, right? So this I'm going to approach in a 7-step approach divided into groups of 2, right? So if you follow the entire approach, you'll be able to solve this problem quite easily, right? So without wasting any time, let's just start with the approach. So first of all, what I do is that I hash out the pattern, right? This is you can see the code for it. I hash out the characters of pattern. So how to hash them out? So you have 3 options. You have unordered map, you have a basic C++ map. In Java, this will be a hash map or a tree map, right? And you can also take an array of size 256. Why 256? Because the characters on the keyboard are 256, so one index for each character. Okay, now what we're going to take is actually this array, because we know that the length of our string, that is the characters available, are fixed. So if I take an unordered map or an ordered map, this just adds to my time complexity, which is of no use. So array is the best option here. If you want, you can use the unordered map. That is still better than using the ordered map, right? So to hash this, you take this, you hash out. So suppose if it was, the pattern is A, C, D, after hashing it will look like A will have 1, C will have 1, D will have 1. These are hash out, these are counts of it. So if it was A, C, D, it will look like A2, C1, D1. Okay, so the first step is done, that is hash out the characters of the pattern. Okay, next is that we run a loop over the given string, right? So over the given string we run this loop. Now m is the size of the given string. Okay, m is size of the string. Okay, all right. So I've done these things. I've hashed out the characters of the pattern, and now I'm running a loop on the string. All right. So why am I running the loop on the string? Because I actually want to find the pattern in my given string, in this given string ABCD. Okay. So this also, I will hash out the patterns of the string in a different array. So the previous array was hash pat. If you notice here, this is hash pat. Okay, and this is hash str. So this contains the hash of string, right? Hash of string, and this hash pat is hash of pattern. Okay, so now what is the next step? So while hashing all of these characters from the given string, what I will check are 2 conditions, right? There are that number 1, the given character should be in the pattern. In the pattern. What does this mean? So while you're traversing over A, B, C, D, now this A is in the pattern, B is not in the pattern, right? So for this I will do nothing. C is in the pattern, that means something has to be done. D is in the pattern, that means something has to be done. Okay. In the second condition, the count of the current character in hash of string, hash of str, should be less than equal to hash in pattern. So consider this: A, B, C, D. Or once you've hashed it once for A, right? The index becomes 1, right? The count of it becomes 1. But in my original pattern, the count of A is also just 1. So now when I come to the second A, I do not need to do again, because this A will be pretty much useless to us, because I've already considered the maximum amount of A's that are needed in my pattern, right? So what this is, you'll understand more clearly into the next step, right? So if these two conditions are satisfied, what do I have to do? I maintain a count, right? I maintain a count which was initialized to 0. Okay, so I maintain a count. Now moving on to the next step, if count, if you can see, if count is equal to length of the pattern, I remove extra characters, right? Important point to note: removing extra characters. Now what are extra characters? There are two kinds of extra characters. Number one, repeated characters of pattern, and number two, non-existing in the pattern. Let's understand what does these 2 points mean. Okay, so starting with the first point, right? So let's start with the first point. What does the first point mean? Repeated characters of the pattern. So let's take again this example: A, B, C, D, right? So I've hashed this out: A as 1, B as 1, C as 1, D as 1, sorry, A as 2. Okay, these are the hashed out characters. But in my given pattern, I have this: A as 1, C as 1, D as also 1. So that means 1A is hashed out as extra. Okay, now if this A is somewhere in the middle, that means if it was C, A, B, D, so there is no way that I can form C, A and D without considering both of these, right? But if it is in the starting, if it is A, C, B and D, that means if I don't include this A, still I can find a pattern in this much of string, because in A, C, B, D, you see there is A, there is C and there is D as well, right? So this means that this first A is an extra character, so I need to remove this. Okay, that means this is a useless character for me, right? Now what is the second? Non-existing characters from the pattern. So what is a non-existing character? Look at these hashes. So which character do you see that is present here but not here? Of course you can see B. Now this is a non-existing character from the pattern because this character does not exist in the pattern. So again, considering this similar type of example, for A, B, C, D, this becomes necessary to consider B. But in a case where B, A, C, D, now this kind of if this kind of a string is given, do I need B? No, I do not need B. So I will remove this character from my hash and then move ahead. So is A also needed? No, it's also, now this falls under the first criteria, right? A repeated character. So I remove this also and I get my desired result. So these are the two type of extra characters that we need to remove. Okay, now let's look at how we do this in the code. So you can see, if the count is equal to L, now L is the length of pattern, right? L is length of pattern. Right? What do? I do the following. If you look at the code, while hash pat of str start like start is at 0, is beginning from 0, okay, is equal to 0. That means it is an extra character. This is the case of this one. And this B one, if it is BAACD, so this, now the hash of this hash pat of B is equal to 0. That means this does not need to be included. Okay, so I remove this character, right? Or there is a second condition, or if hash pat of str is less than hash str of s start. Now this is again which condition? Thus the other condition of AABCD, that is if the beginning character is A, it is not included, it is not needed, that is the hash value of it in the hash of str is greater than the hash value of it in the hash of pattern. So that is A if it is 2 in hash of str and A is 1 in hash of pat, that means I need to remove 1A, that is 1A is useless for me. Okay, now I get inside this if condition. So first of all, let's also look at this. If my first condition is satisfied, that is for BAACD, I just simply need to move ahead. I don't need to do anything, right? But if I'm encountering AACD, for this I also need to decrement the hash of str of A so that I do not accidentally remove it the next time I encounter it. So if I just simply move ahead, that means I'm not changing the hash value. That means A will still remain 2. That means the next time I encounter A, this will again get satisfied and it will never break the loop, right? So for this, this is handled in this line, that hash of str of s of start is decremented. You can see here it is decremented by 1. So from 2 it becomes 1, and that is what is needed, right? And start plus plus. So I just move from this current value to the next value until when this happens, right? While both the conditions are satisfied, either of the condition is satisfied, that is either I have extra characters or non-existing characters, right? The two conditions mentioned over here, that either I have repeated characters or non-existing characters, right? So this was the most important step of this. If you've understood it, that's great. If you've not understood it, I'll recommend you to go through this part again. All right, moving on. Now this is the final part of it. So what do? I need to calculate the length of the required string. So suppose I started from here. Let's take this example again, BAACD. So and I'm searching for this pattern. So after the loop, where will I arrive? Over here. This is where the loop will break. Why? This is incremented and these two characters are removed. That means I'll start with here. So this is where I'll put my j. J is right. This is where my j will be. This is actually start. J is the iterator for the string, right? This is where my start will be. And what is my length? Length will be j minus start plus 1, right? So if this was my j and this is my start, so what is j? 0 1 2 3 4. J is equal to 4 and start is equal to 2. 0 1 and 2, you can see. So this is 4 minus 2 plus 1. 4 minus 2, you can see 4 minus 2 is equal to 2 minus plus 1 is equal to 3. Okay, so this is my required length. Now if this length, this current length of this current string is less than my previous best value, so this value mini was initialized at int max. So if this value is better than my previous value, then I update this value here. I take the minimum and I put my front equal to this current start. Front is equal to -1. What does front signify? Start of the required string. Okay, this is the entire algo for it. Now question arises, how will it handle for multiple cases? So once I've done this A 1 2 3 something CD, right? So the best value here is A 1 2 3 CD. What is this length? 1 2 3 4 5 6 length. But what if I have A 1 2 3 C D A? Clearly observe that this is the best value. So after you've completed this first iteration, you increment this value. You move ahead for the next value. That is, you come here. on this A, and then you check for all the values again, right? So when you check for all the values again, you'll see that these values will get removed, and when these values get removed, you get the new best value. So now we come to our final step. This is the final step. What this does is that if front is not equal to -1, if front was -1, what does that mean? That means my front from this step was never updated, right? That means this value was never satisfied. If this was never satisfied, I never found a pattern. I never found a pattern. That means the pattern does not exist. So I will return an empty string. Otherwise, what I'll do is I'll start from my front, that is the beginning of the required string, and run it till the length I need. So front plus mini, you can see I less than front plus mini. Okay, so this, and then I increment s of I into my answer, and then finally I return the answer. So this is what if A, B, C, D was here, and this is my front. I run it till D, that is the length front plus mini, which is 4. So this length of 4 is my answer. So I append this entire string into my answer, and then I return this answer. So that is the entire approach for it. I'll recommend that you look at it once again and try coding it yourself. If you face any problems, I'm going to be discussing base cases while I code the problem. So let's just move on to the code. So I hope that all of you have watched the approach part of the video and understood how we're going to approach this. Now let's talk about the code part. Now let's start. Okay, so I take L as the length of my string, and L is the length of pattern, and M is the length of string. Okay, so first I initialize this front, which will demark the front of, or should I say, the beginning of my answer string. Okay, and then I take a start, which is initialized to 0. This is basically just to iterate over. Alright, so now I'll take this mini into max. What this will store is the length of the answer, length of the final answer. Okay, and you can see here, as I defined in the approach part also, that I need an array of size 256. Here I've taken 255, but that's similar, like one character here and there. You'll see on some sites it's 256, on some sites it's 255. It hardly matters because it's just one extra space, right? So I initialize it all to 0. Why? Because these store the counts of the given patterns. Right? Counts of the given pattern, these two will store. So hashpat is going to store the counts of the pattern, and hash of str is going to store the counts of the given string. Alright. So first base condition: if my pattern is longer than the given string, you obviously don't have to do anything, and you return an empty string. Return an empty string. Okay. Else, now this comes into, now this is the actual code. So this is count variable, as I mentioned in the approach part, to count the length, okay, of the characters hashed so far. Okay, so this keeps the count of the character hashed so far into the string. Okay, right. So now first step, of course, hash out the given pattern. So this was the first step discussed in the approach part, and now this is this entire loop here actually walks you through from step number 2 to step number 6. Okay, so let's start with it. So this is hashing out the string. Okay, now what this does, incrementing count according to the conditions. What were the conditions? As mentioned in the approach part as well, that these two conditions, you can see hashpat should not be equal to 0. That means there should be presence, the character should be present in the pattern, and the second condition is that the character I am hashing currently should not have been hashed equal to times or less or greater than times that it is present in the pattern. That is, the count of the character I am hashing should be less than its count in the pattern. Okay, So this was, for example, AABCD, if you remember. So if A is repeating itself twice, but in the pattern is only once, so I do not need to hash it again for one. All right. So I increment the count according to these two conditions. So now if count is equal to L, so what this means is that the amount of characters hashed is equal to required characters. So that means I have hashed out at least the same amount of counts present in the pattern. This was discussed well in the approach part. You can go look at that again. This was the step 4, right? So moving on. Now this is the step 5. Okay. While hashpat of S start is equal to 0, right? So what this means is that first condition, extra characters. This was for the case BAACD to find ACD. So here you can see that B is extra, that without taking the B, I can reach to ACD. So B is an extra character. That means its hash in the pattern will be 0. So while this is true, or again, now if B is removed, I am still left with AACD, right? So this means that my pattern that is the hash of A in the hash of pattern is 1, and hash of A in the hash of str is 2. So I need to remove 1. All right. So this is until that this loop is that. So how to do that? If simply I encounter B, I simply increment start, or if the other condition is satisfied, I need to decrement the count of A in my hash of str. So this here is decrementing the count of A in hash of str. All right. So this is that condition. Now after this while loop is ended, that means where will I reach? After the while loop, I am at the beginning of the required substring or subsequence. This is subsequence actually. Okay, subsequence. So I take this length as j minus start plus 1. What is j? J is the iterator of the loop. Okay, and length, if length is less than my minimum, so I update my minimum and my front to start. Okay, so this is the start of the actual answer, so I retain it like that. So in the next iteration, what will happen? My j will increment. So if I was at AA BCD, so here at least once my characters are hashed out. Next, if I encounter A, right, so my hash will increase, right? I will come into this because it is decremented. My count will not increase, right? But count is still equal to L, so it will come inside and it will check for A that this condition is getting satisfied. Then the count of A, that is the hash of A in hash of str, will decrease. Then for B, it will again come into this, and for B it will decrease, and I will find a better answer, which is CDA. So this part is important to understand. Let me go through it again. So if I am finding ADC in AABCDA, so first of all, I will come into this while loop after D. All right, and what will be the string? ABCD. All right, that will be the string. But once this is done, my start will be at A, and then this entire string will be covered ABCD. Then the next iteration, I come on to this A. My J will come to A. So when I'm at A, right, this hash of str will increase, right? This condition will not get affected because this is not getting satisfied, right? Now, but the count will still remain equal to L because count is not decremented anywhere. So it will again check if I found a better answer. If I found a better answer, that means I will come into this while loop. Once I come into this while loop, so first of all, I'll see the second condition will get true, and that means the hash of str of A will get decremented, and then again the first condition will get true, that is I will reach B, so that will also get affected by it, and ultimately these both characters are removed, and I am left with A. I am left with this CDA. So I get a better length of 3 instead of 4. So this part, I hope this is clear. And then finally, I define a string answer, an empty string, if front is not equal to -1. That is, if front is -1, if front is -1, that means I never found the pattern. That means my front has never gotten updated. That means my count has never gotten equal to L. That means this pattern has not been found even once. So I have to return an empty string, which I'm returning after this, right? And if that is not true, so I start from front and then I iterate from front to my required length, and I append all those characters into my given string, and at the end I return this answer. So let's try and submitting this. So yes, as you can see, it has passed all the test cases, complete success. I hope you liked the video. If you liked the video, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe and like. All right, comment with your feedback and comment with all the other questions that you want me to discuss. I hope you love this video. This was a hard lead code question, so I would recommend you to go through the video again if you're facing any problems. And in case you are still not getting some part of it, you can comment in the section. You can comment, and I will reply to you. So thank you for watching. Thank you for coming onto the channel. You can check out other videos as well. I have conducted various lives, and there's also some videos on best coding resources and into dynamic programming and things like that. You can go check them out. All right, and see you next time. Until then, don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.